録画してますか?
Okay. Can you introduce yourself in English, please?
Yeah, sure. My name is Kian. I know this young gentleman from when he came to Ireland on his year abroad. I've known him for 4 years now. 3 years.
Yes. So today
About
we're going to have English conversation, and as she said, he is my friend for 4 years, and he's going to provide a wonderful English lesson for me.
I am, yes, indeed. So, what have you been studying lately? Good sir.
Lately, I used to study Spanish before, but I gave up because, its grammar is kind of too difficult for me. But as I have a bunch of times that I can spend freely, so I, started learning Spanish again. But I'm kind of going
Cool.
to quit.
Already.
Already.
Fair enough.
Next question,
And are you
please.
going to focus on your English then?
Well, I don't know. I just don't feel like doing anything, so,
Oh, okay.
Next question,
So, yes, indeed. Next question. We better move on. What made you want to learn English first?
please. Well, in the current world, I think the number of people who can speak English is more than 2 billion people. So if you can speak English, you can communicate with different kinds of people having different backgrounds. Then you can broaden your perspective of life, and so you can gain new knowledge of life. So that's why I study English. Thank you.
To meet the most kind of amount of people and gain the most amount of knowledge, yeah? Understandable.
Yes. Yes.
It's a nice goal to have. And how do you think it's helped you so far?
Well, I don't think I have any troubles in terms of communicating with others, but I don't think my English is not perfect, so I guess I have to practice, especially for speaking, because I have strong Japanese accents, which I want to fix,
I don't think you have that much of an accent, but
You don't
I
have to be
mean,
nice because we are recording.
I don't think you have a Japanese accent. That's what I would say. I think
Thank you.
maybe you sound like some other culture, but not Japanese.
It's mixed. My
Yeah.
English is American, British, Irish, Japanese English,
Yeah, you've got a lot of European influence, and definitely. Where did you first start learning English from then? Like obviously school, but was there any
Well,
other sources for you?
in general, Japanese students are supposed to study English for 6 years at junior high school and high school. And if you go to college, you have to study English for 4 years. But mostly Japanese education system focuses on only grammar, so many Japanese people are having trouble in speaking. But as I had a
Right.
chance to go study abroad in Ireland 3 years ago, so I think I'm able to speak English. But as I said before, I'd like to improve more.
Cool. Well, that's what these lessons are for, right? So
Yeah,
as long as we keep having conversations, you can improve your fluency and improve your natural speaking.
thank
Yeah.
you. Can I
And
ask a
just,
question?
of course, go ahead.
I heard you studied Japanese at college, and what made you decide to choose the major?
Right. That's a good question. Well, for starters, I've been to Japan in the past before I started studying Japanese.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
really,
Okay.
I originally went to meet my friend Fox, who was living there. At the time, I knew him from college, but I wasn't in his class or anything. But I went to go visit him,
Okay.
and it was just really fun. And I was enjoying speaking Japanese or like whatever little phrases I knew. So after that, I decided to come back a second time,
Mhm.
and that was when I was still in my other college course. But after that second journey to Japan, I thought it would be more fun to just study Japanese than rather to stay in my old course. So I swapped courses to Japanese,
Okay.
and I just finished that course like 1 week ago. Well, Yeah.
Congratulations.
So, thank you.
And then,
hopefully I'll be able to study abroad
yeah,
in the coming
please
year.
come to my country to study Japanese more.
Thank you very much, sir. I
And
will.
in total, how long have you been learning Japanese?
Well,
Like how many years?
I've always partaken in a little bit of Japanese study. For instance, when I was in secondary school, so that's like like high school from like a Japanese perspective, I studied like basic conversation Japanese just for an extra subject. But I didn't really take it super seriously or anything. Like I went on weekend classes, and it was more of a hobby than anything else.
Okay.
And then I kind of forgot it when I went to college, to be honest. So if you count that, I've technically been studying Japanese since I was about 16. So that would be about 8 years. But in college, I've only been studying for 3 years.
But I think your Japanese is pretty good, so I hope you keep studying more, and then
Thank you very much.
Please,
I want to.
Please ask me another question for me.
All right. Yeah, your English is great too, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much.
I know obviously we've only been speaking English this far, but there's been no issues, and it's been really easy, especially for me.
Once again, you don't have to be nice, so
Okay. I'm not being nice by accident or against my will here. So you made a lot of friends when you went to Ireland, right? Have you been keeping up with any of them?
Well,
other than myself.
Unfortunately, since I left Ireland, I've never been there, and then but some of my friends that I met in Ireland when came to my country, and then we sometimes hang out together. But because of the COVID-19 situation, we haven't talked for a while, and then it's kind of our relationship has been getting disappearing.
Right. Is that just me you're talking of, or maybe
in general?
Maybe the other bearded Irish man as well.
Well, she sometimes replied to my tweets, which I don't like.
Yeah. How's his Japanese, by the way? What's your opinion on his ability of Japanese?
Well, he doesn't speak Japanese. When he tweets something in Japanese, he uses translator, so it's not his Japanese ability.
I definitely want that clip. I want to show that to him. Oh my lord.
Obviously, his Japanese is kind of strange, and it definitely, written with translator.
Thank you. I needed to hear that. So, what about my own Japanese when I'm speaking to him? Is that okay? Or when I'm speaking to you, I mean.
Your
For instance, I've replied to your tweets a few times, maybe.
Well, in general, your Japanese, in writing system, there is no problem. I can understand what you're trying to say, but sometimes there is few things that don't make any sense, so I have to confirm what you're trying to tell me.
Right.
But in general, you have very high level writing and also speaking, so you should have confidence.
Thank you very much. I think my speaking is probably better than my writing because I've never done that much writing of Japanese, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so, because in speaking, you don't have to care about kanji, But in writing system, you have to be careful about kanji, because there's tons of kanji you have to memorize and understand what they mean. So it's even difficult for native Japanese people, like including me.
Oh, well, that's a relief. That's quite a relief. So, right, so you're living in Japan.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe the last time we spoke, I don't know how long ago that was, maybe back in March.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last time we had a regular conversation. But sometime before that, you told me you wanted to move, or to go somewhere else, perhaps.
Well, I've been living in Japan for more than 20 years, and I kind of come to think like living in Japan is kind of getting boring. So if I have chance and time, I'd love to go to, live different countries, to, experience new things. And also I'm interested in learning Spanish language. So hopefully I'd love to go to any South American countries like Spain, and not Spain, Mexico,
Right, cool. Actually, yeah. There's a lot of. Spanish is it the third most spoken language? It's definitely up there. So
number
there's a
one
lot of places you
Chinese,
could go.
and the second one is English, and the third or fourth is Spanish.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of countries you can go to.
Besides Brazil, and every single country in South America is, Spanish is spoken. So.
Really? Oh my God. Well, then you've got a lot of choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
What is it? Brazil speaks Portuguese, right?
Yeah, because it used to be colonized by Portugal,
I didn't know that every other country was Spanish. I know that a lot of them are. So.
Yeah, most
I
countries.
know of a lot of them are. Understandable. Sorry, I'm completely unprepared for this. That's another issue I have. I don't know. I don't have any. I don't have any English related questions on the hand for you. Especially since I asked how your study is going, and you just told me you study Spanish. Like, well, that's great. How's that going to be helpful? Actually, here is a good question. What you found? You say you find Spanish grammar difficult, right?
Well, especially how do you call it? Like in English, the verb don't change often. Like for example, go, I go, she goes, we go. So it doesn't change a lot. But in Spanish, IO means go, but you have to conjugate according to the person and speakers and their gender. So it's kind of so complex. And also, you have to change the verb according to the tense. If it's present, it's normal, but if it becomes present perfect or future tense, it's completely different. So it's kind of too much for me.
Right. So conjugation is difficult for you then. I think I thought conjugation in English was quite difficult as well, but I suppose we don't have that many tenses. We don't even have a future tense, really.
Compared to English language, Spanish conjugation system is crazy. You have to memorize more than 10 times things.
But you don't. What about irregular verbs? Because I feel like there's a lot of them in Spanish, but I feel like there's far more irregular verbs in English.
I think 20 to 30% of Spanish verbs and the English verbs are similar, but having said that, you have to memorize many languages because it's language, so it's not easy to acquire,
Yeah, there's.
But at least we have some knowledge of English, so we have some advantages,
We being yourself?
Like people who can speak English have some advantages when it comes to learning Spanish.
Oh, right. I see what you mean. Yeah, true. I should. If I were to learn Spanish, I would have those advantages, right? But not necessary that. Yeah. What? Okay. Why okay?
We've been talking for 15 minutes, so thank you for having conversation with me. Bye.
Bye.